well, you're not really black though. You're almost there. I can't call myself black because I'm not, but I can't call myself white because I'm not that either. My name is Jon Edwards. Hear my story. So growing up, I grew up in a Christian household. My mom is white. Literally grew up in a town called Whitesboro. And then my dad is black. He's fresh off the boat from Jamaica, and so we grew up in a town that was primarily all white, but it didn't seem to be too much of an issue. Like, it wasn't something that I really knew to be an issue, like my dad being black, my mom being white. I didn't think that was weird until much later in life, when I realized that wasn't necessarily the norm for a lot of people. I remember being on the football team in my junior year of high school, and I had some buddies on the team, and just made some comment about something that happened in practice that day, some just great feat of athleticism that someone had done or something, and someone had made a joke that like I was the one white boy who had jumps, and made a comment like, oh, but I'm not white, like I'm actually black. And then one of the black guys on the team who I was friends with was just like, well, you're not really black though. And then he's just like, I'm black, like my parents are black, but like you're almost there. And like that was almost like a moment for me where it's like, oh wow, like no, like I guess I can't really say that I'm black because like I'm not, like I do have this whole half of me that's not that way. It was really hard for me. It was really tough. It wasn't actually until college that I came to, realize that my identity has a lot less to do with my race and a lot more to do with who I am because of Christ, in my relationship as a child of God. And I think that when I started pushing into that more, that insecurity almost became a strength of mine. And I think about how Paul talked about becoming all things to all people, and that door that opens up. And then he even goes on and talks about how he's like a Jew of all Jews and Hebrew of Hebrews and all these different things. And just realized like I almost have like a leg up on Paul because like, nah, like I'm not like that. Like I don't have that exclusivity and that kind of almost elite ethnicity, whichever side it might fall on. But it's like, no, like I can relate to these people. Maybe not fully, but I can relate to them. And I can relate to these people as well. Like this was something where it's like, it didn't become an insecurity for me. It became a strength because I realized, no, like this is my opportunity to be connected, as opposed to I only have somewhat of a connection. It's like, no, but I am connected. And fast forward a little bit of time, I'm working at a summer camp. And at this summer camp, I met a girl and, fell in summer love, and just was just so amazed by her and everything about her. And as we got to know each other better, just realized like, oh, I want to spend some time with this girl. And I eventually developed a relationship with her that I was pretty confident would go the distance and everything. And I remember on one of our last days at camp, her sharing with me like, hey, this is going to be tough when we go home because my parents are not going to approve of this. They're not going to be very excited about this relationship. The reason is because she's white, comes from a white family, and I come from an interracial family. It was really tough for me and for her as we're trying to process and deal through it. This struggle that I thought I had already overcome is now coming back. And this thing that I had thought I'd moved past and thought was a strength was now one of the things that's crippling my future. I remember she even asked me at one point, she's like, do you want to continue with this relationship? So I know that this is not fair, and I would understand if you want to call it off. And it was so tempting for me to just be like, man, I've already dealt with this. I don't want to have to deal with this again. But realizing, man, if I'm going to give up on a relationship because of people who I don't know and I haven't met, then that doesn't make me any better than the people who would do the same thing to me. So after talking about it with her, we decided this is something that was worth fighting for, that our relationship was something worth going for. And so I ended up moving down to Georgia so I could be closer to them, and just try to start building a relationship with them. And through months of spending a little bit of time here and there with them, trying to get myself more familiar with who they were and allow them to get themselves more familiar with who I am, develop this relationship to the point where after a few months, I felt comfortable just boldly going up and asking for the blessing. And the first time he said yes. And it was something beyond our wildest dreams. Like, we never imagined, like, in our best case scenarios, we were thinking, hey, maybe let's give it a little bit more time. I just got to know you. But he was just like, you seem like a fantastic person. And you seem like someone who I could get excited about being with my daughter. So yes, and let's build our relationship more. And since then, like, it's been continuously being invited over to their house, invited to the different functions that are going on in their lives. And on a regular basis, just being a part of their family, to the point where this past Christmas, my family lives up in Virginia, and I had to be here, and they're like, why don't you come over Christmas Eve, you can spend the night and spend Christmas with us. And like, so before we have even gotten married, they're just already inviting me in and welcoming me in with open arms. So if you're like me and you've had to deal with these issues of identity and who you are and why you're just different and unique, and why people treat you differently because of that, even if it's not your fault, just know that there's a God who loves you more than anything, and that's where your identity can be rooted in. And when you receive that love from someone who loves perfectly, that'll help you to love everyone else just the same, and you'll quickly see how their attitudes toward you change.